Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. Today, we are going to be looking into Pi Network.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard of it?
I have, yeah. It's been making a lot of noise in the crypto space recently.
Yeah, especially with their value like skyrocketing recently, and
Yeah.
it's jumped into the top 15 cryptocurrencies, which is
It is.
pretty wild.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
And on top of that, they're planning to unlock 188 million tokens just this month.
Wow.
So that's what we're going to be looking at today.
So Pi Network, it's really fascinating how quickly it's risen in the crypto world. Just a week ago, it was ranked 3,157 on CoinMarketCap.
Oh, wow.
And now all of a sudden it's right up there, surpassing cryptos like Hedera and Chainlink to land in the top 15.
That's a huge jump.
It is a massive leap.
Like, what could even be driving that kind of growth?
Well, for one, the current market value of Pi Network is sitting at a cool $13.6 billion, which is, pretty impressive for a relatively new cryptocurrency. And on top of that, you've got about 9% of Pi Network users feeling really optimistic about Pi's future prospects.
Okay, so they're
Bullish.
bullish.
Okay. Yeah. We even saw the price almost double recently, hitting 2.99.
Okay, so it sounds like there's a lot of excitement surrounding Pi Network for sure.
For sure.
But what exactly does it mean to unlock 188 million tokens? And what could that mean for the price of Pi?
Right. So Pi Network's going to be releasing 188 million tokens to over 1.1 million users this month.
Okay.
So it's a lot of tokens hitting the market all at once, which could definitely lead to some price fluctuations.
So are we talking potential price drop?
Potentially. There's always that possibility when a large number of tokens are unlocked. However, it's important to note that not all of these Pi tokens will be available to trade immediately.
Okay.
A significant portion of them, 63%, are actually locked for 3 years, and then another 14% are locked for 1 year.
Okay.
This staggered release is designed to help stabilize the price.
So even though there's a large number of tokens being unlocked, not everyone will be able to sell right away.
Exactly.
That could help prevent like a sudden crash.
Exactly. It's a mechanism to try and prevent that.
Okay, but what about getting those tokens onto an exchange where they can be traded? There's been a lot of talk about Binance not lifting Pi yet. Can you shed some light on that?
Yeah, that's a big point of contention within the Pi community. There was actually a survey done within the community showing that most Pi users want Pi listed on Binance.
Okay.
It hasn't happened yet, and users have been voicing their disappointment. Some have even been leaving negative reviews on Binance's Google Play page.
Wow, so there's some strong feelings about this.
There are.
Why hasn't Binance listed Pi, though?
Well, Binance has said they base listing decisions on trading volume and market liquidity. Basically, they're saying that Pi hasn't met their criteria yet.
Okay, so it seems like there's a bit of a standoff happening.
Yeah,
The Pi Network community is ready to trade on a big exchange like Binance.
they are.
And Binance isn't quite convinced yet. It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Yeah, definitely.
But let's shift gears for a minute and talk about the airdrop that Pi Network did.
Okay.
Why was that such a big deal?
The airdrop was a huge event for Pi Network. They distributed a total of 6.3 billion tokens, and at its peak, the total value of those tokens was $12.6 billion.
That's a massive amount of money.
It was a significant event.
What was the purpose behind doing that?
It was all about community engagement. It was Pi Network's way of rewarding early adopters and building a loyal user base.
So they're really focused on building that community.
It seems that way.
And we're also seeing Pi starting to be used as an actual form of payment in some parts of the world, particularly in Asia.
Right.
Could you tell us more about that?
Yeah, sure. One of the most interesting things about Pi Network is this real-world adoption we're seeing, especially in Asia. There are shops and businesses accepting Pi as a form of payment,
Wow.
which is a big step towards making it a usable currency.
That's really interesting.
It is.
It seems like they're trying to be more than just a speculative asset.
It seems so. They want to make it a part of everyday life.
Yeah, so we've got this exciting growth in value, a massive token unlock on the horizon, and the beginnings of real-world adoption. It seems like Pi Network is a project with a lot of potential.
It does.
However, there have also been criticisms and accusations surrounding the project, too.
That's right. There have been some accusations leveled at Pi Network questioning its legitimacy,
Okay.
and those concerns should be acknowledged. However, it's also important to remember that these accusations haven't stopped Pi's growth and popularity.
It's definitely a complex situation. So we've covered a lot of ground here, the meteoric rise of Pi, the upcoming token unlock the Binance listing debate, and those criticisms. There's a lot to unpack here. What stands out to you so far?
I think the most fascinating thing about Pi Network is this tension between its incredible growth and the challenges that it's facing.
Hmm.
Will they be able to maintain this momentum, address the concerns, and gain wider acceptance? It's really a story that's still unfolding.
Yeah, and I think it leads perfectly into our next discussion point, the future of Pi Network.
Okay, let's dive into that.
When we think about the future of Pi Network, what are like the key things to keep in mind?
Well, to really understand where Pi Network might be headed, I think we need to consider a few things. Can they sustain their current growth? Can they get wider adoption? And how do they handle the criticism they've received?
Okay, let's break those down a bit. We've already seen Pi Network grow massively in terms of its user-based market value and even the price of Pi. But is that kind of growth sustainable in the long run?
Yeah, that's the key question. Maintaining this level of growth is going to require more than just excitement and hype. Pi Network will need to demonstrate real-world utility, build a robust ecosystem, and maybe even secure listings on major exchanges like Binance.
That makes sense. Even with all the attention Pi Network is getting, your options for trading it are still pretty limited. Wider adoption seems crucial if it's going to be successful long term. What would that even look like in practice?
Imagine being able to use Pi to buy groceries, book a flight, or even pay your rent. That kind of real-world integration would go a long way towards making Pi a mainstream currency.
Yeah, I can see how that would be a game changer. But let's not forget about the criticisms and accusations that have been leveled at Pi Network. How do they address those and build trust with a wider audience?
Transparency is going to be key here. Pi Network will need to be open about how they operate, address those concerns head on, and perhaps even engage with regulators to show they're committed to doing things the right way.
It's not just about building cool technology.
No.
It's also about building trust and credibility along the way. It seems like they're trying to do that, at least from what we've seen, with their efforts to promote real-world adoption and engage with the Pi Network community.
Absolutely. Building a successful cryptocurrency is as much about social dynamics as it is about technological innovation. Pi Network seems to understand that. It'll be fascinating to see how they navigate these challenges in the coming months and years.
This is where things get really interesting for me. With this token unlock about to happen and the potential for wider adoption, where do you see Pi Network going from here?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And there's no easy answer. There are a lot of factors at play here, like overall market sentiment, regulatory developments, and of course what Pi Network does next. But if they can execute their vision and overcome these hurdles, they have the potential to disrupt the cryptocurrency world in a big way.
It's a story that's still unfolding, and I think we're all eager to see what happens next.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the crypto world, isn't it? It's constantly changing, always full of surprises. And it forces us to rethink how we look at finance and technology.
I love that. It's a reminder that we're living in a time of incredible innovation and change.
Yeah.
So what does this all mean for you, our listener?
Well, for starters, it shows that even in a space as volatile and unpredictable as cryptocurrency, huge shifts can happen incredibly fast. Projects can go from being completely unknown to major players almost overnight. It also highlights how important it is to stay informed. Do your own research and form your own opinions.
Exactly. Don't just take our word for it or anyone else's, Inton. Explore, ask questions, and think critically about the information you come across. And maybe most importantly, don't be afraid to embrace the excitement and uncertainty of it all.
After all, that's what makes this space so dynamic and captivating.
Absolutely. So with the token unlock just around the corner and the possibility of wider adoption, what do you think is next for Pi Network?
It's a question worth pondering. So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into Pi Network, and it's clear that there's a lot to be excited about, but also some uncertainties that remain.
Yeah, it's definitely a project worth keeping an eye on. This token unlock will be a major event for Pi Network, and how the market reacts to it could tell us a lot about its future potential, for sure. What are some of the other things you think will be important to watch for as Pi Network continues to develop?
I think the next big hurdle for Pi Network is proving its real-world utility. They need to show that Pi can be used for more than just speculation. The progress they make in terms of wider adoption, particularly in regions like the US, will be crucial.
So it's not just about getting listed on big exchanges like Binance.
Right.
It's about demonstrating that Pi has a real purpose in the world.
Exactly. And don't forget about those criticisms that have been raised. How Pi Network responds to those concerns and builds trust with a wider audience will be key to its long-term success.
It seems like transparency will be really important for Pi Network going forward.
It will.
They'll need to be open about their operations and proactively address any doubts or questions people might have.
Absolutely. And You know, this deep dive has just scratched the surface. If you're interested in learning more about Pi Network, there's a wealth of information out there. You can take a look at their white paper, explore the Pi Network community forums, and really dig into the details for yourself.
That's great advice. And remember, this is a complex project with a lot of moving parts.
Right.
Don't just take our word for it, or anyone else's for that matter. Do your own research. Ask those tough questions and form your own informed opinions.
Yeah, after all, in the world of cryptocurrency, knowledge is power.
Couldn't agree more. We hope this deep dive into Pi Network has given you a better understanding of this fascinating project, its potential, and the challenges it faces. Keep those key factors in mind. The impact of this upcoming token, unlock the push for wider adoption, and how Pi Network addresses those criticisms. Stay curious, stay informed, and who knows, maybe you'll be part of the next big crypto story. Until next time, happy diving.